today has turned from a wiring day and trying to get lights and speakers figured out into I need to figure out everything about solar panels, amp hours, wattage, voltage, all of the things that I have been dreading pretty much since day one. But I'm getting them done right now. So here we go into so much more research.
One eternity later.
So I have been doing research for about the last 4 hours on everything solar powered. Watts, amp hours, volts, inverters, converters, soft starts, just about everything you could possibly look into. And I'm reading all these articles and watching all these YouTube videos, and there's some great videos out there, but I just don't get it. Like, I don't know. I guess my brain doesn't work in this way, but I have to figure it out because this is my next mission. So I guess I just have to figure out how to tackle this problem. So I came up with a plan B, which is to go to the local RV store here in town and ask them about solar panels. I do much better when somebody explains it to me in person and I can actually ask them the questions that I have and, take all of my notes to them and ask them 3 million questions about solar panels and watts and why I need watts and volts and amp hours and whatever else. Yeah, but I think asking them is going to be the way to go. I will probably still install it all myself, but I just need to know what I'm doing, honestly, because I'm kind of clueless right now. Okay, so I went to the RV place the other day and took all these notes while the guy was talking to me, wrote down pretty much everything he said, figured out hopefully everything I need to run on my solar. And then this is essentially my setup. I found some really good videos on this whole thing, and I'll go more in depth when I actually put the system in. But there you go for now. There it is. I'll try and post some links to some of the videos I found that were really helpful. And this is the same thing, but going off of shore power. And then these are all of my notes on pretty much everything about solar. And honestly, I think I finally understand it. It only took like 15 pages of notes, but I finally got it. Yay! Okay, so like I said, I'll go more in depth when I actually put the system in my bus. But I think one of the most important things I figured out was the pi equation. I know that probably doesn't make sense if you haven't studied solar panels and I guess wiring really, and electricity. But essentially it's how to get watts if you only have volts and amps, or how to get volts if you only have watts and amps, or any combination of them. It's pretty much how to figure that out. So pi essentially means power, intensity, and electromotive. I know it sounds, yeah. So essentially watts is the power, and that's what a device needs to function, or how much like solar power it's going to create, as far as the panels go, or how much your device is going to draw. And then amperage is the intensity, so how much energy needs to be going to run whatever your specific thing is. And voltage is the electromotive, which pushes the electricity through the wires. I think the best analogy that I found for explaining amps, watts, and volts was, imagine it's a bucket of water that you're trying to fill up instead of power. So your watts is going to be how much water it takes to fill the bucket. Your amps is the size of the hose that you're using to fill the bucket. And then the voltage is the water pressure behind the hose pushing out the water into the bucket. So put all of those together, and that's going to be how fast your bucket fills. So I hope that helps you as much as it helped me. Then at that point, you can figure out what your daily consumption is going to be for everything on your solar. You just make a list and figure out the amps, watts, and volts for all of them. If you're buying things on Amazon, usually they will say at least 1 to 2 of the amps, watts, and volts, and then you can figure out the third one from there. So that was really helpful, honestly. The other thing that was super helpful was when calculating the amps, watts, and volts, I did use that pi equation that I was talking about. So essentially all that means is, like, if you're trying to figure out your watts, you're gonna do, if you know your amps and your volts, then you can figure out your watts. It would be amps times volts equals watts. And if you don't know your amps, it would be watts divided by volts equals amps. So that was pretty helpful. And then from that, you can figure out your daily power consumption based on a list of everything you're going to need to put in your to put on your solar. So once you've figured out how much power you're going to need to draw essentially on a daily basis, then you can go over to this website that I found thanks to Kels and Jay on YouTube. So thankful for that video. I was really struggling, and then I found their video that explained their whole solar setup. I posted it in the description below. They found a whole solar chart of everything. You can put in exactly your system specs and figure out everything you need, and then you pull the cursor over it and it'll give you more of a description on each thing, which was amazing. It was on, I think it's called SkoolieSupply.com. I will also post that link probably along with the photo right here. That was super helpful. I'm also gonna post in the description below some of the things that were helpful for me. I read quite a few articles and some of them were really great. And then also I watched a lot of videos, so I'll post those down below. I even watched this one on how to do your AC on the solar panels, which everybody kept telling me that you can't do, but this one guy explained it really well, and he used a soft start to make it work. So it just lowers the, I want to say it lowered the wattage and voltage for when it first starts up, because when it kicks on, that's when your highest power is drawn, and then it levels out after that. So if you use a soft start, it kind of gets rid of that issue. So I will post that video down below as well as anything else I found helpful in the solar department. But I do highly suggest, if you are more of a personable learner like me, and don't learn as well from just reading it, that you go to your local RV store, because that was really where I got the most help. After he kind of explained it to me at the store, I was able to go further in depth and research and figure out exactly what all those terms meant that I was reading. So that was super helpful. So I highly suggest that. I think this is where I'm going to end the video for right now. I will come back and touch base on all these things again, because I know I didn't explain it all the way, but that's kind of the basis of it for right now. So yeah, once I actually get all the components and start putting them into the bus, then we'll come back and revisit solar power and how it all works all over again.